Notoka Siwayaukuikat, River Song Woman, Warrior River Song Woman. That's my name. And I have been coming to Long Dance for 19 years now, since the year 2000, when I met Hua and Pekata, and Skywalker was there, and Jade was there, and so I did my first sweat that year. That's the first year that Spirit came and said the teacher showed up, so the student was ready. Is that cool? Yeah. So, anyways, so it's 19 years now since I've been coming to Long Dance, and every year, I set intentions to what my dance is for, and dedicate my dance like that, you know. So for me, I keep coming back. You know, every year I look forward to coming back. I think the first year I was in the kitchen, you know, and and right away, boom! I looked at that drum lodge, and it showed up. You know, went into the drum lodge. You know, and I think it was the second year I was asked to take that drum lodge and own it like that, and I did, you know. I began to lead that drum lodge, and along with that, you know, came the altar setup, because it didn't have an altar. I mean, yeah, the drums were the altar, and there was that altar and the circle like that, but we began to put an altar inside the drum lodge, and in the Mexica tradition, you know. At that time, I didn't start danza till 2004, 2005. And so after that, it became more, you know, the south door. You know, in our tradition, the south door represents the place of the child, of course, but also it represents the willingness to do what it takes to get it done. And in that reflection, I think, you know, having the drums going all night long, and giving that fuerza, you know, that strength, you know, to keep it going is a big part of it, you know. And throughout the nights in these 19 years, I think a couple of times it's been really cold, you know. I remember it was so cold a couple of times, you know, and my arms and you know, I think I was still working at the driving a forklift back then, and it really hurt my arms, and you know, got the healing, and got to get that healing, you know, with magic hands and that circle over there, the healers, you know. So yeah, I keep coming back, you know, because for me it's like it's an offering. I think in this walk, the offering is a big part, you know. It's it's part of the walk, you know. Our ancestors say that when we walk and into this camino, the red road, you know, we have to teach and keep by example. And so for me, it's you know, it's part of that teaching by example, but also, you know, feeding my spirit, you know, because absolutely feeds my spirit, you know, for the whole year. I think it's a big strength of connection with the feminine that, you know, um, is who I am, you know. And before I came to the circle, I had questions about the femininity of being feminine and all like that, you know. And so, you know, in this circle, I got to embrace that feminine part, and be proud of being a life giver, you know. And it's, you know, that's a good thing, you know, and like that. So yeah, so I keep coming back. Next year it'll be 20 years. It'll be 20 years, man. Dang. So 20 years, and I get to get my fourth little thing of the sisters. Yeah, the pin. So I get to get that pin. So yeah, that's why I keep coming back. It's a good thing like that. Yeah, I think the place of when women get together, it creates a big movement. As in our tradition, we are the center of our house. We are the ones that move and create. We are the ones that are the center, like our heart, like the fuego, like the fire. And we move and we instruct and we do. And our duality, which is the masculine, um, you know does, and we do in the middle and take care and like that. So I think that long dance has taught me that piece of how to center and and create a lot of stuff, for myself, and also, uh, in that big prayer, and that universal prayer together. Man, and all those fires going on, aligned. I think that creates a balance. That I carry with me for the whole year. That's like the initial peace, and that, I always remember, do everything, and I always say this because I learned this here, in beauty way. And everybody that's around me and knows me, we are women and we do things in the beauty way. And I always say that to everybody who's around me when I'm creating altars and like that. And even in creating my own personal altar, I think that I carry that teaching. It's really important to remember that. We are the creators of our space, and we need to own that, and we get to own that. Not that we need to, we get to own it like that. And come back to the center and to that place of balance, 'cause that's really important. I think that's important. So I think that the first year that we brought our traditional danza, as a danzante. I mean, I've been doing danza since 2005. I went on a journey out to Mexico, a 7-week journey, just to go and explore. And I ended up going to 9 different sacred saqualis. So a saquali is the name of what we know to be pyramids or sacred sites. Saquali means the house of the sacred, and it's also referred to as teocalis, energetic houses. That's the translation to that. But anyways, I went on this journey for 7 weeks, and with another friend, and we ended up going down into through Texas. We went through Matamoros, and we went down through Tampico. The next thing we know, we're in Veracruz, and the first sacred site that I went to was El Tajín. El Tajín is a sacred site where the in Papantla is where the voladores, these guys, they get on this pole that's 80-foot tall pole. They were at our Mexican New Year last year, and this 80-foot tall pole. And so I got to see the voladores de Papantla and El Tajín. And we went and learned that they do that sacred spiral 13 times. It's 13 times to signify the cycles of the moon, and how it connects to the harvest of and the flows of the water and all like that. And they dance up there. It's always a really nice giveaway. And so I went to El Tajín, and we were there, and and got to see the saquali of the 365-day calendar. And it's like it's a calendar, Tajín. And then we took off and we went up to Quetzalan, which is in Puebla. The Papantla is in Veracruz. And so we went up to Puebla, and then we went to this other Saquali that was called it's called Yowalishan, and that's the place of night. And there's all this jungle because it's so full of the grass and the greenish, and it's all jungle up there. We're up way in the mountains in Quetzalan, where they still speak the native language of Nahuatl. You see the grandmas there, and they're walking, and it's raining because it's all jungle and stuff, and these grandmas are walking, you know, barefooted, carrying big old things of logs, And as we went over there, in every town that we went, I would always go to the what they call the Zócalo. And so the Zócalo is the main plaza of the town. So everybody comes out to these Zócalos at night, and you talk to the elders there. Some of them are kind of more, not too willing to talk, but some of them are really talking. Hey, qué pasó? What's going on over here? So they'll talk. So that was nice, and as we came over the hill in Puebla, we came over the hill and we seen the Valley of Mexico, de la Ciudad de Mexico. We seen Mexico City. It was so majestic. What I thought when I first came over that hill and seen that valley, my perspective was, man, this is what Cortés seen. So I got to see what that invader, that when he first came there. Of course, it's different. I went through a highway and stuff, but so, anyways, it was magical, because you're up 7,000 feet above sea level, and it's just like coming into this valley. So, anyways, when we were there, of course, we went to El Templo Mayor, este, um, and Teotihuacan. Ended up going to Tula, and every sacred site that I went on that journey, I had always, I know Spirit was with me. One, because we're two women driving in Mexico for 7 weeks, and two, because there was always a giveaway for me. An earring would fall, I'd lose something in every sacred site, because you had to. I didn't know, there was an offering, that was still empezando mi camino, beginning my camino. So I ended up going over to Oaxaca. Of course, went down to Acapulco for a couple of days and checked out the water over there, and it was beautiful. And you know, went to and then cruised it all the way down into Oaxaca, and just cruised the Pacific coast down there. A lot of these places are not even there because a lot of the water has washed out a lot of those places now, and we crossed La Sierra Madre, what they called, from Huatulco, Oaxaca, over into Oaxaca. I went into Monte Alban, and we got kicked out of there because we tried to do our offering of a song and with the tecocoli, the concha. They told us to leave. Those guys. Anyways, so we ended up going there and just kind of like circled around, hit nine sacred site, went to the museo, of course, anthropological of the in el DF and in Veracruz, in what's known as Jalapa, uh, in Veracruz, because we did this big circle, and in the museo, the anthropological museo in Veracruz, is where they have, I think it's 17 of those big stones, the Olmec stones. They have them in that museum, and you can just go right up to them. Of course, you can't touch them, but I remember going there and seeing 17 of those big old heads, and just marveling, as to how our culture is, and of course there was danza in el DF, which really inspired me. And coming back from that journey inspired me to go and do danza, and and spirit puts up all this, the ways to get to do that, and on the way back is I came through, and then I met my sister Kwausiwat. I met her at this gathering out there at Evergreen College, and Tonaleke had just split up, and they created Tonaleke from another group, and the Huitzilopochtli group, and she says, "Well, hey, well, come and dance with us. We're teaching." And I'm all like, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah." I go, "What do I need?" She said, "Just show up, just show up." And so I showed up, and as I learned originally when I came to here with Hua and Pekata, the Sisters of the Dance, circles of empowerment. The first thing I learned was the fire, and we learned those pit fires, and we learned the full moon. We learned to do the full moon because we took that back to a women's circle that I belong to, in the valley, and we created our circle out there. And Felipa Badger was out there, and so in those teachings of the fire that I learned here is I did the fire in my poposhkomit, which is in our tradition. Our fires are in ceramic carriers. They're called poposhkomits, and popo means the smoke. El komit is the vessel, or the ceramic vessel that carries the smoke. So it's poposhkomit. That's what the they are. Some people call them saumadores too, pero that's not the correct name. It's poposhkomit. So, anyways, so I ended up doing my fires. How I learned to do my fires for and that teaching came from here, and I took it and put it into my poposhkomit, which is that little container, and I started doing fire over there with the Mexica community. Um, and so, I mean, that was like 15 years ago or 16 years ago. It was a while back. And so I've been carrying fire for a while now, like 18 years. It's been a while. Um, yeah. So that's how I mean I all the different traditions, they're different, but they're the same, and I like to say, because everything that shows up like that is, all from spirit. The spirit teaches us like that, and we are just the vessels that relate the information. And if somebody takes it and goes off and does it, then I'm like, I mean, for me, that's a good thing, because they're still keeping that tradition going. And that's what our ancestor Cuauhtemoc said, the joven abuelo, the last Tlatoani palabra of the Mexica people. He said, tell your children to tell their children to tell their children that we are still here, that our traditions are rooted and are always here, and never forget that the glory of what our people are. And our people are that of the native traditions, and in the roundabout way, it's all about, everything that's natural, everything that's nature. We connect to everything in the most natural way, because the seasons. Right now we're in the season of of um, of the autumn season right now. So the seeds are falling into the earth, and they are cementing into sleep for the winter. And in the spring, they wake up and give birth, and everything starts growing. In the summer, we harvest this, and that's the way, our ancestors. It's so abundant, in the way, nothing was more. We never took more than what we needed, and I mean, we could go back to that, never take more, and that's another teaching, than what you need, there's no greed. Our ancestors did not have money. We bartered. You need this, uh, we bartered, and if you didn't have nothing, people would give you anyways, and that's part of that same tradition. I mean, you see it right now in that caravan, the 4,000 people. How are 4,000 people walking to the borders of the United States? Everybody is giving them food because that's the tradition. Mi casa es tu casa. You come to my house, it's your house. Aquí es tu casa. And that's a tradition that we've always been taught, where one fits, we all fit. That's the native way. That's the humble way, There's no greed, there's no, I have more than this, no envidia. No, envidia is, of course, greed or feeling that you're better or whatever. Pero everything in the natural order, spirit provides, and trust, and have that trust there. I think that's important. That's important to that. And in this walk, that's what I've learned. And this is what I try to relate to the younger generation, as now as I'm getting up there, you see my canas and stuff. Yeah, that peppered hair, And so I relate that, to the younger generation. And I get happy when I see, and I hear women say, beauty way, and I'm going, oh man, And so it's a reflection of who I am, and it's a reflection of what I've learned, which is a reflection of who, was a reflection of everybody else, or Selocoa, of all these different teachers that I've had, I think, even the children are my teachers, but it's our reflection that we, reflect to the people, and I mean, that's the best we can do, just reflect ourselves like that, and hope that, you know, that it's going to be okay. When people tell me, uh, you know, when I hear, you know, we got to take care of our Mother Earth, and I think, well, yeah, but she takes care of us, and absolutely we take care of her. Don't throw your trash, and little things that we do, I mean, I never throw my trash. I always dispose of it in a good way, right? But I hear that, and I think, well, Mother Earth is going to be here a long time after I'm not here, so she'll be fine, But absolutely, I do my part, and that's a good way to walk, because that's the way our ancestors walked. And so I think that that's important, And there's a lot of teachings out there like that, you know. Seven etapas de la mujer is one, You're creating altars. There's teachings there. There's a lot of teachings, and so yeah, different songs, all the bear songs, all the songs that we know. So, oh, Mateo.
Oh, Mateo, would you like to give us a song?
What? What kind of song? Okay. So, um, this song, this song is appropriate for right now in this time, and this song speaks to the gathering of the people. when because right now we're in this place of the autumn when the seeds are going down. We're in the transition of almost going down, and so this song is a journey song for our loved ones who cross to the who transition. We like to say our loved ones transition to the next place. And
I love your rap on the dead. I
yeah,
love that.
and so they transition to the next place. Nobody, you know, because we're all gonna go there. It said that when we go when we go, our loved ones greet us, and that's a beautiful thing, and in this year, for me personally, the fifth, my mother's generation, the last of her sisters, transitioned to on her journey over there, and I know she was greeted by all her brothers and sisters and my grandparents and stuff like that. But because it's beautiful, it's the it's the it's the duality of life is death, and so anyways, this song speaks to the gathering of the people, uh, with their hearts and with their energetic being to help that person be in their journey to the place where the dead live, which is Miklan. Because in death, there is life. Okay, so this song is the journey song. Kino clamati no yolo, pampanin qui karin chochi, pampanin kasi inquika. Kinoklamati no yolot kema, shocho pantemo inoteo, huehuetitlano anemi, kinok clamati no yolo, pampaninqui carincho chiquema, inilquac nimikis, inilhuicania, inchochilinquicat, neompaniquia, iniquac nimikis, inilhuicania, inchochilinquicat, neompaniquia. Kinoklamati no yolo, pampaninqui carinchochi, pampanincasi inquica. Kinoklamati no yolot kema, iniquac nimikis, inilhuicania, inchochilinquicat, neompaniquia, iniquac nimikis, inilhuicania, inchochilinquicat, neompaniquia. Oh, Mateo.
So, can you give us a little translation of that?
So, Gino Glamati no Yolot. So we are all gathered here with our hearts and ready to speak and sing. Pampan in Cuica in Xochitl. And we're all gathered all together in this place to give energetic movement to the flourishment of what has been of that person's life. Pampaninkasi inquika. So together we're here and we're doing our song. Quikat is song. Kino clamati no yolot kema. Kino clamati. So here we are with our song. No yolot kema. Yes, with our hearts. We're here in this place. Ibikwak ni mikis. And so we know that death is part of life. And so we're calling death and we're giving gratitude to death, to that transition And we're asking death carry us to that place of Mictlan, to help us on this journey, you know. Iniquicania in Xochitl in Cuicat, and we say in Xochitl in Cuicat. That means in the translation in English, Xochitl is flowers,
Yeah.
but it actually means when we say Xochitl, we mean the flourishment of the song in canto. In Cuicat is the canto. So when we say el florecimiento del canto, so that's the flourishment, the end. The end is the flower, because when you have a flower, it's like this, but when it opens, it flourishes to its final glory. Es el florecimiento in Xochitl, in Cuicat with the canto, because our song is from our spirit, our canto, is from our spirit. In Cuicat, in Xochitl. So that's the song,
Wow, beautiful.
So yeah, it's a journey song that we sing for our loved ones who have begun their journey, because in the thought of our native ancestors is, again, death is in death there is life, you know and the dead go to rest in Mictlan, the place where the dead live. So it's beautiful when we think, somebody dies. Of course, we think of our attachment to that person, and we're not going to see them in the physical form. But again, we do see them because we remember. And our abuelos say they die when you forget them. So as long as somebody remembers that person is not dead. Because we're always remembering. And that's why during Dia de Muertos, we celebrate, and we go to and we decorate, their place where they rested, and we offer our cantos and we offer our food, because they do come. They do come. The veils get open and they come in those days, and they come to be with us. And that's true, and they come to be with us, yes. And we feed them their moles, and we feed them whatever they really liked, That's the tradition. Oh, Mateo.
Oh, Mateo.
Hello, I'm Kinor Anwa with Circles of Empowerment. Thank you for watching our video. We've got a lot more content coming up, so be sure to subscribe. Also visit our website for events and other activities coming up, circlesofempowerment.org. May our paths be blessed. Aho.